kindergartners. Today, our read aloud is a book called Actual Size by Steve Jenkins. So, in the title, Actual Size, the word actual means real. So, in Steve Jenkins' book here, he's going to teach us about some animals and he's going to show us in the illustrations their real or actual size. So you can see on the front cover here, there are a couple of animals, or there's an animal and a part of another animal. This animal, this is its actual size in real life. So you could kind of compare that even just to my finger. It's about the same size as my finger. If you include the tail, I guess it's a little bit longer than my finger. This is a very small animal and it is called a pygmy mouse lemur. And the pygmy mouse lemur is sitting on the thumb of a different animal. That is a really big hand. What animal do you think that hand belongs to? Take a guess. You can tell somebody who's around, or you can just think it in your head. That is the hand of a gorilla. That is a really big hand. I'll compare my hand to it. Wow, it's huge. Okay, so we're going to take a look inside this book, Actual Size, and learn some pretty cool things about some animals and their sizes. Did you ever look a giant squid in the eye? Have you shaken hands with a gorilla or been face to face with a tiger? Of course not. All of the animals in this book are shown at actual size, so you can see how you measure up to creatures both large and small. You'll be able to compare, you'll be able to look at these and see how big that would be compared to you if you met it in real life. So we're going to take a look at these first two animals. This one here, and can you see this one right here? So we have two animals on this page, on these pages. This one, I do not want to meet this one in real life. I don't know if you guys know this about me or not, but I don't like moths at all. They creep me out. I'm okay with spiders and snakes and all those kinds of animals, but moths really creep me out. So I don't want to meet this one, but I'll tell you a little bit about it. The Atlas moth is so large that it is often mistaken for a bird. Its wingspan is 12 inches across. So look at it compared to my hand. That is a big moth, isn't it? The dwarf goby is the smallest of all fish. Look at it. It's like maybe even smaller than my fingernail on my pinky finger. That's a very tiny fish. Ooh, look at this. You know what that is? It's an eye. The giant squid lives deep in the ocean where its enormous eyes help it to see in the dim light. Look at that eyeball. Look at it compared to mine. Wow. That is a big, big eyeball on the giant squid to help it see deep down in the ocean where there's not much light. The Alaskan brown bear is the largest meat-eating animal that lives on land. This says that its height is 13 feet high. So that is like two Mrs. Brousseaus plus a little bit more than a half of a Mrs. Brousseau. If there was a Mrs. Brousseau standing on top of a Mrs. Brousseau and then another half of one, that'd be about 13 feet. That's very tall. And its weight is 1,700 pounds. It's a lot. Here's the largest bird, an ostrich, with its egg. So ostriches are the largest birds, and they are up to 9 feet high, 9 feet tall, and they weigh 340 pounds. So the ceiling in your house is probably either 8 feet or 9 feet, unless you have really, really high ceilings in your house. So an ostrich is about 9 feet. So it'd probably be about as tall as your whole room. And look at its egg. That's a big egg. And this is the actual size of this egg. If I were to hold it in my hand. A 2-foot long tongue. This must be a giant anteater snacking on its favorite food. Ooh, I was thinking its favorite food must be ants, but it's not. It's termites. This is the tongue of an anteater. A giant anteater, that is. Wow. And the whole anteater is 7 feet long, and its tongue is 2 feet long. Oh. The Goliath bird eater tarantula is big enough to catch and eat birds and small mammals. Could compare that to my hand. I wouldn't be doing this if it was a real spider, by the way. Oh my goodness, this is super cool. Watch this. This animal we have to have special pages that fold out to be able to see. The saltwater crocodile, the world's largest reptile, is a man-eater. Yeeks. Look at all those sharp, pointy teeth. And that is one big mouth. Oh, I need to keep it open because this one has that cool feature too. Ooh, this is kind of challenging. Holy moly, that's a big frog. The Goliath frog lives in Africa. It's big enough to catch and eat birds and rats. It says it's 36 inches long with its legs extended. Extended means they're stretched out like it was in that picture. What do you think that is? Whose mouth might that be? Those big saw-like teeth. This is too close to a great white shark. You wouldn't want to be that close. Oh, I think that's our front cover illustration and all the two animals that were on our front cover. The huge gorilla and the pygmy mouse lemur both have hands a lot like ours. Their hands are a lot like ours, but the gorillas are much bigger and the pygmy mouse lemurs are much smaller. The Siberian tiger is the biggest of the big cats. The Goliath beetle is the world's heaviest insect. Heaviest. I wonder how much it weighs. If you picked it up, it's very heavy. It says that it's 6 inches long and it weighs 3.5 ounces. 3.5 ounces is not very much, but I guess for an insect, that's pretty heavy. The rare giant walking stick is the world's longest insect. It says it is 22 inches long. So this is 22 inches. That is quite long. Whose foot do you think that is? I think I know. An African elephant. This foot belongs to the largest land animal, the African elephant. Oh, I remember earlier in the book, I heard something about the largest land animal, and it wasn't an elephant, it was a bear. This says it's the largest land animal. Do you remember what Steve told us about the bear? He said it was the largest meat-eating land animal, and elephants are not meat eaters. Oh, this is really cool. You can see that there's a little picture of each of the animals in the book, and then there are a lot of words under each picture, a lot of tiny little words. It would be really hard for me to share all of that information with you right now, but it's pretty cool that Steve put in some extra information about each of the animals so that if you wanted to learn a little bit more about them, you could learn a little bit more about them. There's one last animal at the end. The giant Gippsland earthworm lives in Australia. And this giant earthworm is 36 inches long. If it's stretched out straight, it's about 3 feet long. That is a big worm. Long. It's a long worm. Okay, kindergartners, that book had a lot of really cool information about some different animals, some things that you may not have known before. So I want you to really think about something that was interesting to you or something that you learned from this book. And for your Write About Reading activity today, I'm going to have you draw a picture and share some words with us. You can share your words just by speaking them and showing your picture, or you can challenge yourself and try to write some of the words that you want to say about whatever it is that you learned or thought was interesting. Thank you so much for tuning in to listen to our Read Aloud for today. See you next time.